get some points, Ace. You're on the board, brother. You are on the board. We made it. We're on the board. Again, which was my goal, was to start doing this stuff with the community. So we hit our goal. We're doing the thing. Hopefully we can get a little better at it. So what, Blessed? You're thinking you want to do one, huh? An unofficial offline one, I'm assuming, right? Which would make sense. I just got my points. I wouldn't mind keeping them. Just for one more day. Now, are those going to be the standard? Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Is this going to be the standard flags for this season? Is that how that goes, or do the flags change weekly, daily? How does that go? Because, like I said, it's extremely close to consternation, with the exception of which, again, you mentioned didn't affect this seed at all. But important items can be in 9. Duris made like 4 to 6 new flag sets, so they'll be cycling through a handful of these flag sets through the days. Do I understand that correctly? Okay. Well, if Druis made them, I'm sure they're creative and fun, and not too punishing. You know what I mean? Like, that actually made it interesting with throwing the Mags Rush situation in there. Oh, okay, okay. Base consternation's always it's always legit, right? I mean, it's such a good flag set. It really is. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense. And like I said, with Druis behind the wheel on that, I have full confidence that they'll be good fun flags. Yeah. Like he knows how to squeeze in a fast element. You know what I mean? Like that was basically consternation, but let's make it a little more difficult by making important items in 9, but we'll compensate by making Mags Rush, right? And here's a free red candle at the Armos. Repeatable offense right off the rip. And on the again on the punishing side, but your starting sword, your wood sword can be on, it can be underneath, it can be overworld blocked, it could be power bracelet blocked, it could be burn bush blocked, so I say that was a pretty good flag set as far as balance goes. Add some difficulty, add some comfort. You know what I mean? So if he threw that flag set together, pretty good. I think he did pretty good if that was his intention. But you get the candle to find it. Exactly, exactly. That's what I mean. Like if he kind of came up with that's a real good balance. Yep, I didn't. I knew that right off the rip, and I was still going to rush my Armos, so I didn't. I took hearts for all my take annies because again, Mags Rush, right? And then I found White Sword, and I'm like, I don't even give a shit. I'm not digging hearts for it. If I get it, I get it. But White Sword's certainly good enough. No complaints against getting Mags though. Most popular flag set from the list he made. Yeah, I can imagine. Like I said, it's got really good balance to it. He added some difficulty, some complexity with the whole important items in 9, but also gave you a little bit of a leg up with Mags Rush and a free red candle, which the red candle and the overworld blocked Sword Cave kind of balance each other out, and then the Mags Rush and the important items in 9 not directly balance each other out, but I think it's a fair balancing. I keep doing that. um, yeah, if you want, we can, I'll do these flag sets again. These flags. I think I still have the flags in my randomizer. It should be the default at this point. I should save those. Can you save? Yeah, preset options, custom one. Uh, TTP S2. What would we call these flags? TTP S2. And you said he's doing between 4 and 6. That'd be nice if he did 4 so you could just set your 4 customs up. That'd be cool. But it's nice to have a couple extras too. You just bounce between them. But maybe that's something else Fred can add in an update is adding if they're going to lean towards 6. Yeah, Mags Rush. There you go. Fred's going to add the item to the preset. Yeah, that makes sense. So you don't have to save them. Okay. You know what? I'm going to check for an update actually. I don't think he's really. Nah, we're still there. Mags Rush, Arm Red Candle. Oh, you can't name. Oh, you can't name it. You just have to store the flags and save it as the flag set. I see. I see. I thought you could name it. You can paste them again. They could kind of do the inverse of that. Oh, okay. Nice. Do you remember which custom is which flag? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see that now. So I mean, maybe he can adjust that to where instead of a button and then the list of flags, it could be a drop down, and you could just store it. I don't think he's using like you could use SQL Lite or something like that, or even a text file to store the shit for people to save their info in, and then make it dynamic instead of just static at 4 only, and it just saves that. That way you could have a field for the flag set, what you want to name it, and then set to those and then have a button for each one, or just set to the selected, and then just have a drop down. He'd have to put another. It would be like a separate little interface. I'm sorry, I'm a programmer. My bad. Never mind. um. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Huh? Oh. Oh, you didn't know I was a. Yeah, I do. I do. I wrote all my software systems that I run all my systems on. I developed for automotive and shit, all kinds of stuff. I'm more of a systems admin than I am Well, actually, I don't know. I'm probably about the same at both. I went to college for. Oh, yeah, there's that too. That's um I do a shit ton of yeah, yeah, that's my company. Um so I've wrote custom software for like I did some Android stuff for a medical company. Um did a lot of tons of stuff in automotive for sequencing. That's where I learned a lot of programming out of what I would call necessity because I wanted to do something and it's like I don't want to spend $150,000 to get this. I'm like I'm just going to develop it myself. I just got to figure this shit out. Yeah, I'm a C sharp guy primarily. I do C sharp. Obviously, you got to know some HTML. Um, I don't know, dude. There's so I don't do like I think Fred does a lot of C++ plus plus or C plus whatever. Um, but yeah, I do mainly C sharp, some ASP. I don't lean into the web stuff real hard. I did like the Android shit though. I liked writing Android stuff, which was mostly in C sharp, but XAML, XAML. I really liked writing the interfaces in XAML. That was actually it was pretty comfortable, which made me a little more comfortable in ASP. But again, I don't lean towards web development. It's just not my comfort zone. I can do it and I've done it, but it's not what I like to do. I like more desktop like this what the randomizer. That's something more like what I would write, like a desktop application. I like those probably the best. I've wrote some phone software and shit, but I've done the most desktop stuff like that, like a lot of data synchronization and like quality control software, stuff like that. Pretty neat stuff, but some pretty complicated stuff. I got some pretty big systems, but um, whatever. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I actually, like, well, I guess I don't digress. I actually went to college for systems administration, so I was yeah, Linux administrator. Obviously, Windows. You got to know Windows. More comfortable in Windows than Linux, which I think a lot of guys would say that, but that's just because I've been out of touch with Linux since I got out of automotive. You know that we had a lot of Linux stuff when I went in for some pretty ridiculous stuff. There's some pretty niche stuff too. Um, you just unplugged your internet. Fingers crossed. Yay, my own IT department. Yeah, yeah. There you go, Hayes. Yeah, I was a network guy. I was definitely a network guy. I went for network design and network administration and all that stuff. So I've never had to, yeah, unplug it and plug it back in. Did you reboot it? How many times did you reboot it? Three times. You always tell me to reboot it three times. I don't know if you ever seen that, but there was an old, I don't know if it was a video, but it was more audio than anything. It was IT guy versus sales guy or something like that. It's freaking hilarious. Oh my gosh, if you could hear that, it's the sales guy calling into the IT department with like, "Hey man, can you fix this?" and whatever. It's freaking funny. And then the IT, it's just funny. You'd have to, it's IT guy versus sales guy, and it just, it's good. I haven't heard it for years, but I remember it being really funny. Ace, do you want to run another one with us? Because it's getting to be about 1 o'clock here, so if this is going to take me like an average of a 2 hour seed, then I probably got to get it underway ASAP. Not that I'm rushing any, but I would like to get it underway by 1 o'clock, so that's like 7 minutes, if that's possible. I mean, it can. I'm not real whatever, but yeah. What's funny is I do a programming and all that and everything, but my main business, I do like vision systems inspected labels and 3D printing for companies for like assembly parts and things like that. That way, when they put labels on their parts and stuff, like those labels have all been 100% guaranteed to scan, so it won't shut down their production lines for a scanner not being able to scan something. Like, oh, hang on, hold everything. This thing won't scan. We need to get another one, or we need to reprint a label, or this or that. Like that stuff doesn't happen if you get labels from me because I run them through vision systems and scan and verify every single label that goes through my printers. Weird. I didn't figure that's what I would end up. And like I said, I just wrote all my own software for it and everything. So I had to find something to do after they shut down the automotive plant that I was working at, because that happens. I do a bunch of stuff, mainly supporting automotive supply chains rather. But like I said, I'll venture out sometimes. It's like, oh, that's an interesting software that you want. Somebody will hear about me and, hey, will you write me a software that does this for our company? I'm like, I got to see what you're doing, but yeah, I'll take a look at it, and then I'll get like real into it and have fun with it and end up writing something, and it's pretty cool. So I don't really know what I'm doing day to day, and lately it's been like super dead. That's why I've been on so much. Business has it's been really slow. The I think that's already passed, hasn't it? Yeah, I think they canceled it because there was only one person that joined or something from what Blessed said. And the midnight Triforce triple play is midnight Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Eastern, and midnight Eastern. And it's 12:55 Eastern right now. I don't see any more races up. I could be wrong, but I don't see any live races up right now. Oh, unless you meant in general, like nightly. I'm sorry if I misunderstood that. I assume you meant in general you're going to target the midnight one. Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I was like, shoot, man, I'll join that one too. Why not? And then it's like, they canceled it. Like, damn. Hey, we finished our race, Ace. That's awesome, dude. Finished our first Triforce triple play. That was fun. And again, if Juris made those flags, hats off to you, dude. Those were good. Those were good flags. I think he did a real good job throwing that flag set together. But yeah, it's neat to see us up there, huh, Ace? I mean, you got to scroll down to see us, but we're there. And that's okay. That's where we're going to start. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. I think we're going to do those same seeds so we can get a little practice at this seed set. Or, geez, I keep saying seed set, flag set. Yeah. Somebody's got to prop up the other guys, right? That's what we're here for. We're the foundation of the leaderboard, so to speak. Yeah, the base of the ladder. That's the most important part, right? I wouldn't expect to be anywhere but that for our first season. I think we are probably exactly where we belong. But hey, over time, like I said, we'll wiggle out. And maybe by next season, we'll maybe be a little more competitive. Well, not competitive, but more running with the pack a little bit more. You know what I mean? Because we were a little bit off. Yeah, exactly. We were a little bit off these guys tonight. But that's the first time I've ever even heard of those flags, let alone run them. That was my first seat of the night's always garbage. It's always garbage. So I like to get a practice one in first or something. Or I would like to get a practice one in first. It's not like I've done that a bunch. So moving forward, maybe while Yumi and those guys are running their seed, we can practice with the 8 o'clock seeds and then run the 10 o'clock, or practice with the 10 o'clocks and run the 12 o'clock, something like that. I mean, at least that's probably what I'll try to target to do, or just do one offline with you guys, whatever. Well, I mean, definitely offline, but just do a consternation or just whatever we decide to do, just to warm up my hands and get screen scrolls going and stuff like that. I started on that first screen and I couldn't get a screen scroll for my life. I abandoned it, went and did something else, and then when I came back the next time, I tried it again and finally got it. But screen scrolls weren't cooperating with me right off the rip. They never do. It always takes me a minute to get tuned in, so to speak. Oh, you've never used I've never used any other sprite other than the vanilla. It's just because the color palettes screw me up, and yeah, I can't even imagine using a different sprite. Like Shaddy likes to use the whole Mario Brothers theme stuff. I see him using that one a lot, and I'm like, that would just screw me up because I'm like, what enemy is this? What am I swording down right now? And what item did I just pick up? I mean, hell, just having a different colored tunic screws me up. So I just keep everything vanilla. Fred plays the Gibdo all the time. That's Fred plays the Gibdo character. The same one that you did, which is kind of cool because then you fight the gigantic ugly Zelda, and then you save Ganon at the end. So that was pretty cool to watch you do that. But for me, for consistency purposes, yeah, I just do the vanilla sprites and vanilla colors. Just less for me to keep track of. Maybe someday I'll venture out and try something different and get used to something else. But for now, I'm just gonna stick with classique. Yeah, I bet that would throw your screen scrolls and stuff off a little bit too. I don't know if you're a big screen scroll guy or not. I remember when I told Yumi that, he was like, "Oh, you got to join, man. When are you gonna start? When are you gonna start running the races? Just do it." And I'm like, "I want to get a little better at my screen scrolls." He's like, "Man, some of the top runners, some of your best guys don't even do screen scrolls." He says there's a few screens that can save you time, but he said don't worry about that too much. Just get in there and just run. Oh, how to make your own? Okay, very cool. Yeah, you try, but never long. Yeah, I don't spend too much time unless it's like an important one. Like this one, I felt like it was an important one because you started right there at the screen scroll screen to go across the river to get that other Armos, which turned out to be Death Mountain Armos. Is that was where the red candle was. So you can either screen scroll through the forest or through the dead woods rather. You can walk through the dead woods and do the puzzle and stuff. Yeah, I told you, Blessed. That is freaking hilarious, isn't it? Like, what email? What are you talking about? I didn't send an email. While he's like logging into the system and deleting the email, he goes, "I swear I sent you that, and I said never to do that." And he's like, "Oh, I don't know what you're talking about." It was hilarious, dude. It was a really good one. I'm glad that the conversation came up because I haven't heard that in years and years and years. That just reminded me of it. Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. I forgot about that part too. Oh man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that. Like I forgot about 90% of it. So funny. I knew our website was the tip of the penis. Exactly. Oh, jeez. He hit auto arrange. What are you doing? What'd you do to my icons? Oh god, that video is so funny. And it's so accurate at the same time. Did you reboot the server? No? Yeah, then he set the picture as the desktop background. Ah, this'll work. This'll work. Nah, this is fine. I can work with this. Oh man, so accurate of an IT guy too. It really is. Set it to the background and hid the icons. Yeah, that's mean. Good trick though. Good trick. Nice. I had a teacher in our tech class. Um, there were all these different stations, and you had like robotics. There was a CNC. Oh, you're in Discord. Okay, I'll catch you in there. Let me jump in there too. I'll stay on here so Ace can, unless Ace is going to jump in with us too. He's obviously more than welcome. There we go. Um, no, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So we had like a tech class, and we had all these little stations. Like I said, you had a CNC mill, you had robotics, you had. Oh, I don't even remember what some of the other ones were. Um, but in one instance, the teacher walked away, and the night before, I had kind of farted with just, and it wasn't like some crazy program. It was just Q basic stuff, and I just learned how to do like print screen commands and stuff like that based on inputs that somebody would put. But it looked like a DOS screen, so it just looked like like the black screen and the C semicolon. You know what I mean? Neori's Ace. We're in Neori's Discord. Um, so when he walked away, I had wrote this program the night before, and again, it just looked like a command prompt, right? So I knew he was going to try to get back to Windows and type exit, and yeah, I was just try to cd slash whatever change directory. I anticipated a few commands, and I just made custom remarks for each thing that he would put in. So he was stuck in the program. He couldn't get back to Windows. Um, and I put a command in there. Like the only way for him to get back to Windows and get his computer back was to type, my name and my buddy's name that we were partners in class. Like these guys get an A for the semester. He had to type that, and then there he had his computer back. It was pretty cool, and he really appreciated that. He thought it was because it wasn't malicious or anything. It was just kind of neat. Those were in the days when we were playing like Duke Nukem 3D and Diablo and all that. We end up networking the whole thing together and then put like golf, and I think we put yeah, it was Quake. We put Quake on it, and we would play Quake for like the past 15 or the last 15 to 30 minutes of the class. It was cool. All right, let me make sure I got you guys in here. Can somebody say something in Discord just so I can verify that it's on
Yo,
for me? All right, I got blessed. All right, I'm assuming
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
working. Yep, I got Ace. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I sneezed. Um, all right, who's rolling the seed? Doesn't matter. Just curious.
everybody volunteering all at once.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
Well, I
my
tell you what.
luck's pretty bad. I don't know if you want mine, but
Same here. I have the flags in. I'll just do new seed a handful of times. What do you guys want for a starting digit? 1 through 10. Pick a number.
Oh, level
7.
7, of course.
7? You want 7? What do you
Damn,
want,
that's
Ace?
crazy. We both picked 7.
7. Okay, let me roll
My
one until
least
it
my least
starts.
favorite
There it is
dungeon.
right there. Okay, here we go. I rolled one until it started with a 7. That's how I roll my seeds. I only look at the first character. So we're going to use. Do you need me to post the custom flags too? Or do you guys
Uh,
have them?
I might have.
I still got
If
the
not,
flags up from
It's
if we're
just
still
okay.
using
it,
the
it
same one.
ends with the letters KM41. lowercase cam 41.
Let me double check. Yes, that is correct.
I should have the right flags.
Okay.
Yeah, and two ends at the beginning.
Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Let me get my file there, and I will pass along the seed info here. There's just the seed number there. I just put it in. Niori's gonna go, what the fuck is that? So I didn't put any context to it. I'm like, here's a number, guys.
Where'd you put it?
In
Oh,
the general, in general. But yeah, I actually liked this flag set. What bad? God, why do I have like 7 seeds in here? It's that one that I just did. One
I
7.
know I'm deleting seeds all the time.
I know, right? All right, let's just do Z1R seeds.
Do 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 do.
Let's put it in
That
there.
was the
Okay, that'll work.
longest seed number that we
Yeah,
did.
I know, right? Yeah, I know. I'm like, is that even? Can you do that? Is that too many digits? Like, what the fuck is that?
Right?
The for some reason when the tournaments are rolled, the seed that generates are like 3 or 4 or 5 digits extra than like what the Zelda randomizer
Oh, okay.
spits up. It's weird. I kept
That
noticing
is weird.
that in my tournaments that I did that the seed numbers are somehow longer. I wonder if it does that to like make sure that the tournaments are different than the standard races.
That could be. Yeah, might be a couple other variables in there that it does. I don't know. I'm sure
Guess
Fred
this
has
is
something in
fun.
the back of his mind for it, though. All right. Let me get this in my EverDrive. Give me just a minute. Oh,